Back to Math for My Desk, and in today's video we will be solving problem 1 of the 2024 Math AAHL Time Zone 1 Paper 1 Section A. So let's start. So clear rules, and by the way, first, if my voice sounds a little weird today, it is because I have a cold, and this paper right here is from Brilliant Learning. This is where I got it from, and I can link it in the description down below. So Claire rolls a 6-sided die 16 times. The scores obtained are shown in the following frequency table. It is also given that the mean score is 3, and we want to find the value of P and the value of Q. We also know that each of Claire's scores is multiplied by 10 in order to determine the final score for a game she's playing. And for part B, we want to write down the final mean score. So for part A, where we want to find the values of P and Q, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and set a system of equations up. So the first equation I'm going to get is from the sum of the frequencies. So here we have all the frequencies, and we know that they add up to 16 since she rolls the die 16 times. So what that means is that P plus Q plus 4 plus 2 plus 0 plus 3 is equal to 16. And if I simplify this, 4 plus 2, that's 6, plus 3, that's 9. So if P plus Q plus 9 equals 16, then if I simplify further, I get P plus Q is equal to 7. So that will be our first equation. Then our second equation will come from the mean. So this is the reason why it's given to us. So we know that the mean score that is given is 3. And so what the mean is going to equal first, it's going to equal the sum of the score times frequency. I will sort here. Score times frequency divided by 16. So what that is in our context is, for example, the frequency here is P, the score is 1. So we'll have 1 times P, which is P. Plus here Q, here 2. 2 times Q, that's 2Q. Plus 3 times 4, 12. Plus 4 times 2, 8. Plus 5 times 0, that's 0. Plus 6 times 3, that's 18. And then we have all of that over 16. And that equals 3. So let me go ahead and simplify this further. So 12 plus 8, that is 20. Then 20 plus 18, that is 38. So I have this is equal P plus 2Q plus 38 over 16 is equal to 3. Then I'm going to multiply both sides by 16. So I have P plus 2Q plus 38 is equal to 3 times 16 will be 48. Then I can go ahead and subtract 38 from both sides. And I get P plus 2Q is equal to 10. So that is our second equation. So let's recall, this is right here one of our equations, and the second one, or the first one we got, is P plus Q is equal to 7. So now we can set a system of equations up to solve for P and Q. So if I go ahead and subtract the two equations from together, P minus P, that is 0, 2Q minus Q, that is simply Q, 10 minus 7, that is 3. So what we get is that Q is equal to 3. So that is our first part of the answer. And then from that, we can solve for P easily. Remember, P plus Q is equal to 7. We know Q is equal to 3, so we get P plus 3 is equal to 7. And then we subtract 3 from both sides, and we get P is equal to 4. So this right here is our final answer for part A. So for part A, we get P is equal to 4. Q is equal to 3. So now we go back and solve for part B. So let's go back to the image right here. So part B tells us to write down the mean final score. So the mean final score, we can go ahead and write that as, well, it's going to equal the sum of all the scores divided by the total number of scores. And initially, what we know is that the mean is 3. So what that means is that the original sum of scores which we're going to want to figure out, divided by 16, the number of times the die was rolled, is equal to 3. And now we solve for the original number of scores. We multiply both sides by 16. We get that the original number of scores, the original sum of scores, my bad, not number of scores, the original sum of scores is equal to 48. So the sum of all of Claire's scores before multiplying by 10 and y multiplying by 10, because here we're told that each of Claire's scores is multiplied by 10 in order to determine the final score for a game she's playing. So the sum of all the scores before multiplying by 10 is 48. So what happens when we multiply each score by 10? Well, if every score is multiplied by 10, then that means that the sum of the scores will also be multiplied by 10. So we simply go ahead and write that the new sum of the scores is simply going to be 48 times 10. So that is 48 times 10, and that is obviously equal to 480. So now what we conclude is, if we go back to the original equation that we wrote right here, the sum of all the scores is 480. The total number of scores is 16 given in the problem. And 480 divided by 16, well, 16 goes 3 times into 48. Then we add the 0, and that is 30. So the mean final score is 30. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe. And I hope I'll see you soon for another video.